guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. Today we're back over on our YouTube account and we are checking out the Cursed Realm with the Burning Brute. So I'm going to do this a little bit different. So within the Burning Brute, I'm going to go through the team comps that I am using and where exactly I am at within the Cursed Realm. You can see where we are in the top 10%. So I'm going to go over my team comps. I'm going to go over and show you the new meta comps that are coming out of this. And I'm also going to show you Jason Lee's and in-season's variation of the comp. So depending on the heroes that you have, I will put a link down below so you can check out the variations again. So we're going to go through this first with the teams that I am utilizing. So the first team, of course, is putting Audrey in here. So Audrey is really a big damage monster in here. Valoris also works in here, but with Valoris being a relatively new hero to AFK Arena, same with Audrey, I do not have her completely built at that point. Here we do rely on Scarlet to do an incredible amount of damage. We have Moril in here for some crowd control, and then Damon and Grez essentially to hold the teams together. This one has a little bit of the crowd control aspect, really putting all of these heroes together to allow Flora to maximize the damage in here, and also Awaken Taylene. This is a super heavy crowd control team. We have Mishka in here for crowd control. We have Leo, we have Zap, we have Khazard, and we have Raku. All 5 heroes within this team, guys, provide crowd control. Now remember, with Raku is when a hero is crowd controlled, he gets a damage boost for the normal attacks, with the 9 of 9 furniture doing an incredible amount of damage within this formation. Team number 5 relies on the original Taylene. Again, this formation, we kind of swapped out a couple different variations. If you don't have Helos built, you can actually swap this out for a couple different heroes. The problem with this formation that we've seen before, where we did have to do kind of the variation on this one, is because of Helos. So in this one, again, I'm looking at a couple different formations, is there are a few formations where you can actually drop Helos out. So this would be kind of an ideal one. So the formation then becomes Rowan. So Rowan actually drops into this formation with Taylene, and then we do have Silas and we do have Aziz. So the big thing with this, guys, is if Helos is stronger than Taylene, Helos is going to move when Orthos ults, which means that the damage isn't going to be there. So overall, guys, I've worked around this formation a little bit. I've tried to get the Taylene a little bit stronger. It is very dependent. Even taking the furniture off of Alpha of Helios really didn't drive it enough for Taylene to get the movement. Within this formation, Taylene is the strongest. So when Orthos ults, Taylene will be there. Then the final one is focused on Lucretia. Again, there is a couple variations of this. I still utilize Saurus in here because I don't have Anasta built at this point. But these are the 5 team comps that we're using within here, or the 6 team comps, 5 comps and a boss that we're using within this formation. Then we'll go through kind of the meta formation and what we're seeing, honestly, the formations that are really topping the leaderboard. But the thing with the Curse Realm, guys, is it's super expensive. A majority of the heroes, even the damage heroes in here, such as Kren, such as Audrey, such as Oden, you do have to have them built out. You have to have furniture. You have to have signature items. You do also have to have the engraving, guys. Just like we've said previously, when it comes to the damage dealing heroes, it is incredibly important to have the engraving on them, not for the damage that you're getting from the actual skills, the plus 30, the plus 60 engraving skills, but it is the subset of skills that they get from engraving itself. Whether it's usually for a majority of the hero, it is the additional haste bonuses that they're getting out of here is exactly what you're looking for. Even here, guys, we're over 2 billion damage already, and everybody is just literally stacked here, whether they're fighting Baden's minions or they're being crowd controlled in the back by Kren. He is just locking everyone down here to maximize the damage. So again, with Kren, Oden, and Audrey being built up a little bit higher, damage is just going to amplify in that aspect. This one, of course, is a little bit of RNG with Scarlet. Just with her ultimate ability, she does get 20 bolts in here, which means, again, it's going to be a little bit of RNG on where the bolts go. So the bolts do have the ability to hit your own heroes, which means if they do hit our heroes, most of the time she's going to die. Also remember, the crowd control aspect actually gets lower because of the tenacity. So as this enrage timer does get higher and higher, the ability to crowd control, and again, this is from my understanding previous patch notes, the crowd control aspect will get lower, which again, the tenacity that engraving brings makes a very, very big difference in there. And right here, Awakened Taylene got banished, actually banished right off the beginning. We have to keep these teams up, guys. Remember, dead heroes deal no damage. Kind of a funny thing to think, but a big shout out to Ukraine. He let me borrow his Taylene. BMO, I think, already had the Taylene given out when I looked, but guys, just trying to stack the damage. One big thing in here is I do have Flora built out. She is a hero that I did build out relatively early. I know I don't have the engraving to really maximize the damage in there. And I do know a star does need to be a little bit built out. A star does an incredible amount of damage. So does the Awakened Taylene. Entendre, of course, super self-sufficient because of her self-healing ability. So when she marks the target, so everybody lived in there, which I love. This one, guys, is the heavy crowd control team. So essentially, we just want to lock all of these heroes down and allow Raku just to amplify the damage. If they die too fast, you lose all of it. It does kind of fall to pieces. And again, we got a minute out of that one, almost 1 billion damage in there. And then this one, of course, when Orthos ults, it's going to result in Taylene still being able to move within these formations, allowing us to maximize the damage. So it looked almost as if Taylene did not move in that one. I'm going to have to make sure exactly where Taylene's built. This is the reason why in some aspects like this, players will actually build Taylene out a little more, whether it's putting 1 or 2 extra pieces of furniture above that 9 of 9 furniture, or possibly adding a little bit more engraving or a little bit more to the signature item. Because remember, guys, Celestial, Hypogean, and Dimensionals can go above that plus 30 signature item. Only benefit to that is stats, but the stats can essentially, if I built her stronger, I could override the stats that Helos has with the stats that Taylene would gain out of those formations. So if we see, and we have continued to see her used in the Cursed Realm, it's really, unfortunately, the only place that we have seen her used is here, guys. Look at the damage. The damage is very, very low here. We don't have as many ults as we do with Helos, which means I do have to build out Taylene a little bit more. I know right now we are working on Raku. We are working on a couple different heroes to go ahead and maximize the damage. And then this one, guys, of course, this is the Brute itself. So we have Lucretia in here. We have Lorzen in here for the insight. So even if you look up here, guys, we have Rain with the mark. We have Lorzen with the mark. We have Lucretia with the mark. We have Cecilia with the mark. You can see, guys, there is a ton of negative effects right here on the Brute, which is pretty cool to see. And I love utilizing some of the heroes that players normally built. If you're an older player, you have Saurus built. You have Lucretia built. Lorzen comes in with the cheese formation, even a couple ones. Cecilia, we know, dominates both the hunting fields and the Abyssal Expedition. Then Rain, of course, in there to amplify the damage that we're doing. So I think we did a little bit more last time. So we're about 300 million, a little less than 300 million away. So let's go ahead and look at the leaderboards, guys. Now this is the top of the top. Rosebella, top of the top again. Looking here, Kren doing an incredible amount of damage, but look at Valoris, guys. Valoris absolutely breaking the damage meters. Very, very cool to see that some of the newer heroes now, she's being used in the Hypogean Tower, of course, because of her utility. But when it comes to the campaign, I don't see her anywhere. This is really the only place. So I really take a little bit of pause, I guess, in building an entire hero out. I know the PvP aspect is why a lot of players build them out and why they have them at the plus 80 engraving. But when it comes to building out heroes that just have a single use, really short of the tower, like I said, she's used in here. You can supplement Audrey in here like I did, which is similar damage if I had them built out. But if you're really looking for that top 1%, you do have to build out heroes like Valoris. Within here, guys, again, this was the exact same formation that we run, relying on Scarlet, again, that RNG aspect that she can bring. This one, of course, Entendre doing the survival aspect. She takes an incredible amount of damage, but we have a star in there for the mitigation. Look at a star. So remember, guys, a star has damage mitigation, also does have damage herself. Crazy, crazy high damage. She almost did 1 billion damage by herself, guys, which is incredible. Just seeing where the older heroes 276, the newer heroes 1 billion. It's incredible to see that that is that a star is putting out that kind of damage. Here, guys, of course, it is Raku, but look at Mishka, guys, 750 million from Mishka. And again, this formation looking a little tight. And this is where I get stuck, guys. If you're running Helos in here and you do have Taylene in here, look at that, 3.47 billion damage. My Taylene did nothing, absolutely nothing close to that. You can see how she literally just dwarfs everybody else's abilities in here, which is the reason why she is still run in the Cursed Realm. Then, of course, the formation, we cannot see the final formation. But the final formation, guys, what players are running in the final formation is Awakened Thane, and we're also seeing Anasta. So with the formation, there are really a couple variations that we're seeing. And again, we'll look at it in a minute, is people are running the Awakened version of Thane within here, which does incredibly, incredibly well. Now, Thane, of course, you do have to have built out a ton. So we're actually running, taking out Lorzen, dropping in Awakened Thane, and this is the team that they are running within the formations that is maximizing the damage. So looking at my setup right now, Rain will actually partner with Lucretia because Lucretia is built out much further than Thane. So effectively, it's not going to be as effective as we've seen in the primary, the end game teams that we've seen. Now, the updated teams, guys, that are maximizing the damage is Saurus is actually unfortunately dropped out of this formation, and Anasta is coming into this formation, is the most recent team that we've seen. So they've actually been running the team kind of in this formation, with Anasta actually dropping into a bunch of the formations and really seeing where they are maximized. So again, we have Valoris in the first team, we have Anasta in this last team. A majority of the heroes are being used within the Cursed Realm, which again, Anasta and Valoris I don't see within the campaign stages. Because remember, Anasta has a shield break, Brutus has a shield up the whole entire time. Super, super strong in that aspect of building out these two heroes. All right, guys, so now we're going to take a look at some variable comps that we have. So let's go ahead and we'll bring up that spreadsheet. All right, guys, so here it is. It's on AFK Analytica. I believe Jason Lee in season had a little bit to do with this. So you can see within the Cursed Realm comps, they have the best in slot, which is this very first one, which of course hinges on having Valoris built. I do not have this best in slot one. So I went to alternative one, which is of course putting Audrey in there. I know Audrey does need some engraving. Audrey also does need some furniture to really maximize the damage that we're doing in there. But if you do not have either of those guys, Isabella is a good sub. And then you can even see in here, Damon actually swaps into this alternative 3 down here. Now the second team, of course, hinges around Scarlet and Moriel. If you do not have Moriel in here, there is a combination that is running the twins within here. If you don't have the twins, it has Rain, and it does have Rosaline in here with Damon. Again, you're going to have to go through here, see what teams you can really fulfill within these variations to maximize the damage in here. I get so many feedbacks and so many comments in regards to doing more damage to these Cursed Realm bosses, just knowing the formations. Team number 3 has an incredible amount of different formations. So if you have Awakened Taylene, 1, 2, or 3 is going to be your best slot. If you do not have Taylene, 3, 4, and 5 are going to be your best slot. Most players, you can see the 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teams do rely on Flora. If you don't have Flora, even coming down here, more of a dimensional team with Skarath for alternative number 8. But again, heroes like Flora you should have. AFK Arena gives us an incredible amount of copies of. So again, picking from left to right, the best in slot team, all the way to the alternatives that we have in there, depending on where your heroes are built. Then we have R4, of course, which is Mishka. The crowd control does not work without Mishka, guys. You can see crowd control. We have Awakened Disease in here. We have Mahira in here. There are a couple variations, but team number 4 is dependent on Raku. Mishka and Raku go together absolutely perfect. Mishka provides crowd control. Raku provides a damage amplification because of that crowd control. Khazard extends the duration. Khazard, you only have to have a mythic with that plus 30 signature item, and then a couple of variations down there. Team number 5, again, is based on the old version of Taylene. So the regular Taylene is still being utilized in here. It even has comps in here if you do not have Helos or if you do not have Orthos and you built Helos instead. There are a couple of variations. And then, of course, the boss guys. This one, I believe, was updated for 1.89, so I believe it does not include Valoris and Anastat. Or no, doesn't include Anastat because we have Valoris in there. So it doesn't include Anastat. Anastat essentially in here does replace Saurus. So Saurus will actually drop out. Anastat will come in. If you don't have Anastat built, Saurus would still be kind of the go-to. And you can see the couple different boss comps that we have within here. So going through here, guys, again, I will put a link to this down below. Make sure you're maximizing the teams that you have within the Burning Brute. It really makes a big difference when it comes to the loot that you're pulling out of there. And let's take a look where we're at right now. So the reason, guys, why I really say maximizing the loot, when you look at the rewards, anytime that I can pick up Stargazer cards, or if I can pick up those time emblems, I'm hoping with my 8 abilities or 8 challenges left that I can go ahead and use a couple of them, possibly because there is less than 2 days left, stay within a little bit under that top 10%. That is where I like to stay, guys. Again, if I can pick up some Stargazer cards, if I can pick up some time emblems, absolutely where I want to be, guys, because getting the stuff out of here, especially when it comes to the cores, when it comes to the Twisted Essence, makes a dramatic difference within AFK Arena. So that'll do it for today's video, guys. Let me know in the comments what you guys think, and as always, thank you guys for watching.